resilience. A word that walks like a soldier, carries a secret, and never flinches when you look it in the eye. And today, we're going to talk about resilience with elegance, my dear listener. Specifically, the unexpected and often misunderstood strengths of the rolling stone with avoidant attachment. Yes, that's the title of this tale. 4 strengths of the rolling stone with avoidant attachment. And if you've ever loved someone who seems to vanish when things get tender, or you are that someone, then sit close and listen carefully. Because I'm about to show you a kind of strength you won't read in fairy tales, but you'll see it. Oh yes, in quiet glances, unfinished texts, and the retreat behind a confident smile. Now, the rolling stone. He's the one who leans on logic when others lean on shoulders. She's the one who turns passion into purpose and solitude into a sanctuary. You see, an avoidant doesn't avoid because they lack feeling. No, quite the opposite. They feel so deeply that they've trained themselves not to drown, and therein lies the first strength. Let me tell you a story. There was a man I once knew. Let's call him Julian. A surgeon. Sharp as a scalpel, no pun intended. By 7 a.m., he'd already saved a life. By 7 p.m., he'd made it look easy. His colleagues admired his precision, his endurance, the machine-like rhythm of his day. But behind that discipline was a mind trained not just for medicine, but for emotional survival. You see, Julian was a rolling stone. Romance, intimacy, long pauses over wine. No, thank you. But hand him a problem to solve, a failing heart, a dying lung, and his soul lit up. Now, was he running from something? Perhaps. But what he ran into was excellence. Rolling stones have a gift. They can channel emotion into craft. Work is not an escape for them. It is a cathedral where they find structure when life feels like chaos. They are builders, fixers, achievers. And yes, sometimes it's at the cost of connection. But never mistake busyness for avoidance. It is often the only place they feel safe enough to be vulnerable. Ah, the second strength, analytical problem solving. Now, emotions, they're messy, aren't they? They don't obey. They swell and subside like waves at midnight. But thoughts you can measure, you can arrange, and that's what the rolling stone does best. I recall a woman named Eliza, quiet as snowfall, a writer of legal briefs that read like poetry dipped in steel. Eliza didn't speak of her childhood, or her lovers, or her grief, but she could dissect a dilemma with such clarity, such cold beauty. It was like watching a watchmaker rebuild time itself. This is what I love about rolling stones. They see the pattern. While others panic, they prepare. In the storm, they do not scream. They strategize. Yes, they sometimes miss the forest for the formula, but my God, give them a crisis, and they will calmly hand you a map out of the fire. That's not detachment, that's discipline. And if you think they don't care, well, you haven't looked closely enough. Let's talk about danger. There are people who wilt when the temperature rises, and then there are rolling stones. In the thick of emergency, they move like shadows, precise, composed, unnervingly calm. I knew a woman once, Maria. She worked in war zones, not by mistake, but by choice. When asked why, she said simply, "It's the only place where things make sense." Isn't that fascinating? In the absence of emotional chaos, she couldn't breathe. But in real chaos, she thrived. You see, for the rolling stone, high-stakes environments offer a kind of emotional legitimacy. There, their strengths are celebrated. Decisiveness, logic, control. In the emergency, no one asks you how you feel. They ask what you'll do. And rolling stones? They do. Still, it's a fragile glory. For some, this excellence becomes a trap. They fear failure, fear their perfectionism will betray them. And in fearing so much, they sometimes do nothing. But oh, when they rise to the moment, it is sublime. And the fourth strength, perhaps the most surprising of all. Rolling stones are champions of the underdog. Yes, they keep people at arm's length. Yes, they seem cold at times. But watch who they protect. Animals, the voiceless, the overlooked. There is a tender heart behind that armor, one that bleeds for those who don't ask for love. It's not sentimentality, it's integrity. They don't need applause. They don't need to be seen. They need to do what is right in a world that too often rewards the wrong. They may not write sonnets or weep at sunsets, but they will fight for you. Quietly, fiercely, without ever asking for a thank you. And perhaps that is their paradox. They crave closeness, but cannot tolerate dependence. So they give anonymously. Love from a distance, loyalty from behind a wall. And yet, who among us hasn't longed for a guardian like that? So, dear viewer, if you are one of these rolling stones, or if you love one, take heart. Their silence isn't empty. It is echoing with unspoken love. Their distance isn't disdain. It is a map, crafted carefully, one stone at a time, to protect a heart too precious to risk. The four strengths: a tireless ethic, a brilliant mind, a calm in the storm, and a heart that defends from the shadows. Now, that's not broken. That's remarkable. And if that's you, well, carry on, my rolling stone. You're not lost. You're just traveling in your own way. And the world, it's better for having you in it.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need. If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.